Discussing intimacy, sexual boundaries, or past trauma is incredibly difficult in a clinical setting. Often, the harder a client tries to articulate these experiences, the heavier the silence in the room becomes. The problem often lies in the setup itself. When we rely strictly on verbal questions, we place immense pressure on the client to find the right words for deeply vulnerable subjects. That pressure to perform frequently leads to paralysis rather than discovery. We can bypass this anxiety by shifting the focus entirely. Instead of searching their internal vocabulary, clients can use a system of visual metaphors, specifically designed therapeutic cards, to speak for them. You don't need a complex clinical setup to start this process. You only need the deck itself, a quiet space, and a flat surface large enough to display all the cards at once. By moving away from direct interrogation and relying on imagery, you give the client a safe, wordless entry point into an otherwise daunting conversation. Step 1 is preparing the environment. Ask the client to take the deck and spread every single card across the table, so that all the images are visible at once. This panoramic spread is intentional. Without any text on the cards dictating their meaning, the client isn't forced down a single, narrow line of thought. The open space allows their mind to wander naturally. Step 2 is the warm-up. Instead of asking an invasive personal question, offer a low-pressure prompt directed at the artwork itself. You might ask, "Which card catches your eye today?" Or point to a specific scene and ask, "What do you imagine the person in this picture is feeling right now?" Projecting their emotions onto a character establishes a safe proxy. The client can freely discuss the figure in the picture, building a sense of safety before they ever have to share their own story. Step 3 is the sorting exercise. This physically organizes their open exploration into a specific therapeutic roadmap. Instruct the client to divide the cards into 3 distinct categories. First, connection cards, prompting a "this is me" reaction. Second, hesitation cards, making them feel "I'm not sure." And finally, rejection cards, prompting a clear "this is really not me" response. Let the client take their time evaluating the images and sliding each card into its corresponding pile. Now for a crucial sub-step. Instruct the client to pick up all the rejection cards and return them to the box. Clearing the rejection pile removes visual clutter. It takes a massive, abstract topic and limits the focus to the specific themes and feelings highly relevant to today's session. With only the relevant images remaining, Step 4 is the guided discussion. Use open-ended questions to explore the choices in the connection and hesitation piles, asking why they chose a specific card, or if the feelings it brings up are comfortable. As you do this, remember your role is strictly to act as a guide. You must let the client lead, and you should never attempt to interpret the art for them. The meaning comes entirely from what they see in it. You also need to embrace the silences in the room. Visual processing takes significantly more time than a standard verbal back and forth, so give the client the space they need to connect an image to a feeling. If a client feels their specific experience is missing from the deck, utilize Step 5. Hand them a blank card and encourage them to draw the emotion or identity that isn't represented. Letting the client create their own image ensures the deck adapts directly to their reality. It keeps them in control of the pace and the narrative of their own therapeutic journey. Over the course of these 5 steps, the dynamic in the room shifts. An overwhelming, taboo topic is successfully converted into a manageable, structured, and client-driven dialogue. This methodology easily scales to couples therapy as well. You can ask partners to select cards that show something missing in the relationship, helping them communicate unspoken desires through a shared visual proxy. For larger community groups where intimacy is rarely discussed openly, you can adapt the sorting method to explore broad themes. Asking a group to identify which cards represent a concept like consent provides a collective starting point before moving to individual experiences. To start using this framework in your own practice, visit ronniebg.online, where you can find therapeutic tools like the Let's Talk About Sex and Free to Be Me decks. Removing the demand for verbal precision removes a massive barrier for clients. By giving them the agency to communicate through imagery, the therapeutic process can finally move forward, free from the obstacle of unspoken words.